So first and foremost, I know I said it offline. I want to thank you again for sitting down to have this conversation. I'm really excited to have this discussion to really talk through wholesaling. And I think for the people watching, well, this is Anton. My man has been.
Nice to meet you guys.
My man is a wholesaler. He's been doing this for a number of years now, closed on a bunch of deals, and has really valuable insight and information to share that can help anybody watching know exactly what they would need to do, start doing what you do.
Yeah.
So for most people, when they think about investing in real estate or trying to make money out of this space, their minds automatically go to flipping houses or rental properties, buying a bunch of rentals and making money off the rates. That's a dope niche. That's what I do, and that is absolutely true. But then there's this other thing called wholesaling. This thing that people have heard, I don't need any money or a little bit of money to get started, and they can make a bunch of money doing it. But a lot of people don't know how it works or what they would need to do to actually become a wholesaler. So the goal is through this conversation, and I'm going to go through a bunch of questions here, and I'm going to ask some elementary questions so that there's no gray area for people. They know what they would need to do to actually start wholesaling properties and making money out of this space. And hopefully out of this conversation can even close a deal in their first 30 days. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell a little bit about, who you are and how you got started. Maybe tell us about your first deal in wholesaling.
Yeah. So thank you for having me on, Dayton. I appreciate it. So my name is Anton. I've been doing this for 3 years now, a little bit over 3 years and 1 month. I started in May of 2020. 24 years old. I got started when I was a junior in college. I was going to University of Pittsburgh. I was a tech major. So at the time, I was looking for an internship, and it was hard to do so during COVID because, a lot of jobs were just turning people away or just pausing the internship. So it's kind of difficult to do so. So, I came across wholesaling, I think when I was in school. It was like February or March of that year. And, it was a random video. It was a random video of this guy, Khan.
Show me the money.
Yeah, that guy. So, he was, when I saw his video, I was pretty kind of intrigued because, he said he made like $10,000, $15,000 on these deals, and I kind of saw him, and I was like, okay, if he can do it, like, why can I? Right. So the idea kind of stuck with me. It kept the algorithm got me, and I would basically just, whenever I would go on Instagram or TikTok, I would see these gurus trying to push their courses. I saw some other videos, and I was like, you know what? Like after I finished school that semester, I was like, you know what? Let me try to do this, and so I ended up purchasing a course for it was $1,000, but before I did, it was my biggest investment. I've never bought anything for $1,000. I think I was 21 at the time, and it was a hard thing to do because it's a lot of money for that. I had to actually like call my bank and like approve them to like to push the transaction through. So what is wholesaling, right? It's basically when you find off market properties, when you're direct to the seller, basically finding a deal, finding an investor, and then making that money. It's maybe called a finder's fee sometimes. We call it an assignment fee because you assign your piece of paper to the investor. And that way you're basically the middleman, and you make that money. So the middle ground money. So
real quick, let me just repeat that. You're the middleman. You find the seller, you find the buyer, and you're the guy in the middle talking to both people.
Exactly. And it's a really easy thing to do. It's not like it's not hard. It's not rocket science. A lot of people might think about it, and I'm like, wait, why is this so easy? Why isn't everyone doing this?
Yeah.
And that's a great question. Why isn't everyone doing this? And honestly, it's because a lot of people do get discouraged the first maybe month or 2 months of them actually trying to find a deal, and it's like, hey, this is not as easy as it is. But we kind of have to look at the long run.
Yeah.
Definitely have to go in it with the mindset that like I can do this. If you can, I can. And that leads to my kind of next thing I want to talk about is mindset. I think if you're getting into this, you really have to believe in yourself and believe in your capabilities, and you just have to have the end goal that, hey, I'm doing this for a reason. There are people that are making money. I'm an example. Number one, you guys might start finding other people's Instagrams, YouTube videos, online presence. I would say number one recommendation I would say is read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was one of the first books I read that really shifted my mindset on having a job versus investing and having a business.
That was one of my first books too. I agree.
Yeah, I think I talked to a lot of people. A lot of people, that's how they got started. So Rich Dad Poor Dad. So it's the best. It's an easy read.
Yeah.
It's so easy to understand, and it kind of just it does shift your mindset.
Changes your way of thinking.
Exactly. Look at reality on his order.
Sure.
So I read that. I do deals with everyone, and there's people that I, JV with, which is called a joint venture, which when I have a seller and they have a buyer, they may have investors that they've been, talking to for 20 years and they just have buyers. So, but I have the deal. So I bring the value to the table, which is having the deal. And wholesaling is a great way to get into real estate, right? It shouldn't be an end goal. It shouldn't be like, hey, wholesaling is when I do this, like I'm going to make it. I mean, when you do start making money, you're going to realize that, hey, what do I do with this money? And that's when the investing comes in, right? That's when you're going to start to try to buy rentals, maybe do fix and flips, maybe invest that money into a different business that, you might have had an idea with your family.
Use it as a vehicle to get
exactly
bigger and more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a good way of actually building up that capital, right?
Sure.
Because I think that in order to start anything, you do have to have money. And people are like, well, my background, I come from, my mom raised me and my sister, my first generation immigrant. So it's not like I started with any money. The money that I did buy the course with was from my school giving out COVID relief funds. But like, I'm pretty sure you could find $500. There's courses out there for $500. You have to have an abundant mindset. There's so much wealth in the world to go out for everyone. We kind of have to shift your mindset. Like
the thing you said there that early on that, to me was key was if you believe that you can make it happen, then you can make it happen. My first rental property that I bought, everybody around me told me, there's no way, you're 19, there's no way you're going to be able to buy a rental property.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wanted to, this was going to happen.
Exactly.
And that's where, I'm
one way or the other. One way or the other.
It was already there. It was already executed in my mind. And it was just a matter of following through and doing it.
Exactly.
I'm with you 100%.
Exactly. And that's another thing is it was in your mind. A lot of people have this idea, but the number one thing you have to do is actually take
the damn action. 100%.
Yeah.
Make the call.
Yeah. You have to take that first step, my personality is, I just dive in head first, and then figure it out later. So when I bought this course, I went through the first half. I didn't go through all of the things. I went through the acquisitions portion of it. So I was like, okay, cool. How do I find a deal? Because I didn't really care about finding a buyer. To me, it didn't make sense of looking for a buyer for a deal that you don't even have.
Sure.
And I realized that in wholesaling, that is the number one thing you need is a deal. As long as if the deal makes sense, you're going to have a buyer.
If it's a deal, someone's coming.
It's a deal, exactly.